Welcome to another edition of Focus Forward. My name is Jamie Salinas from Forward Worthington. I am the Chief Executive Officer. Of course, we are the Chamber of Commerce, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Worthington Regional Economic Development Corporation for Worthington and Nobles County. This time, we are just on the other side of I-90 and Diagonal Road, well, technically Highway 266, heading towards, if you head towards Wilmot, on that other side, that north side of I-90, we are at the newest location of Love Inc. Although you have been here a little bit, of Love Inc. Love in the Name of Christ, and we are talking here with Greg Weedy. Greg, we know Greg from his days at the YMCA, and now has been the executive director for a number of years here for Love Inc. So, Greg, thanks. First off, thanks a lot for coming on. Even though we think we've spoken to you on this program, but we're not sure. But thanks for coming on. And for those folks, like I mentioned, a lot of folks recognize you and remember you from your days at the United or at the YMCA. Give us a little bit of that origin story. You and I were just kind of talking a little bit about it before we came on. You're like me. You're not from here originally, but you've been here a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, my name's Greg Weedy. Like most people have known me for quite a bit of time. I spent time in Worthington since 1994, most recently. So been here, worked with community ed, worked with the YMCA for 17 years, and now I've been with Love Inc. for 8. And a little bit about myself. I'm married. I've raised 5 kids. They all graduated from the Worthington school system. And kind of doubled up with a couple of your kids, I think. Yeah. So, and we had. I'm originally from Sherburne. I had lived in Worthington a little bit. I'm an adopted person. Grew up in Sherburne. Graduated from there. Went to college. Was in the military. Married a Fulda gal. That's actually how I ended up in Worthington. So anyways, yeah. And as Love Inc. goes, Love Inc. has been in the community. We've completed 16 years. About a month ago, we started our 7th. We're on our 17th year now in the Worthington area. A little history about Love Inc. About 20 years ago, the ministerium got together and said, there's people coming here from all over. How are we going to address that? So they got a bunch of people together and did some research, and they interviewed different groups, Boys and Girls Town, Salvation Army, Love Inc. There were probably other ones in there. And they went down to Sheldon, Iowa, and there was a Love Inc. affiliate down there, and they said, that's what we want to do in Worthington. And so they went through the process of starting an affiliate here in Worthington. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. And the rest is history, as they say. So, yeah.
So for Love Inc., established here in Worthington, a lot of folks believe, or that aren't familiar with Love Inc., think that Love Inc. is where you go is the donator of things. Folks come in, I need certain items, be it like beds or some furniture or anything like that. They think it's Love Inc. that makes the donations, but that's not exactly the case, right?
That's right. So Love Inc. Basically, our mission is to mobilize churches, but the way we say it that makes the most sense, helping churches help people is what our attempt is. And we do that through a number of different ways. We call them gap ministries is the initial help, and that's where people donate items to the Love Inc. ministry, and then we go forward from there, interacting with the people who are requesting things. And I can go a little deeper into that in a little bit. So, so Love Inc., we are in where we are at now is our 3rd site in Worthington. We most recently were down by the bicycle bridge on South Shore Drive. Before that, we were over on 4th Avenue. And now we're out here. So as Love Inc. affiliates go, I'm going to try to do a quick spiel. Think of a stairs. The first thing a town or a community has to do is want to have a Loving affiliate. There are Loving affiliates in about 35, maybe it's 33 states. Their goal is to get all 50 states by 2050. The second step, and this is an important step, you have to have 6 different denominations on board with having a Loving affiliate. We are a nonprofit, we're a 501c3 organization, but we don't view ourselves as a para-ministry, or we view ourselves as an extension of the churches here in the Worthington area. We currently partner with 18 churches in 19 now. I'll talk about that in a minute. And of the churches in Worthington, there's probably 16 different denominations. So, but you got to have a requirement of 6 denominations to start a Loving affiliate. And the main distinction between our churches that we affiliate with is called the Apostles' Creed. If a church agrees to that creed, then we will partner. We're willing to partner with them. Because there are churches that don't like that stuff too, but that doesn't mean we won't work with them, but they won't be partner churches. I want to tell a story about the most recent Gap ministry we started. It's winter coat and clothing ministry over at First Evangelical Lutheran Church. And I remember the date, and it happened about 7 years ago. January 8th, I got a call from, then it was Swift and Company, one of the human resources or the upper echelon people there called and asked if we had coats, 8 coats. And I said, I'll check. So I asked Gretchen O'Donnell, she was our clearinghouse coordinator at the time, if we had any coats. And she said, yeah, we got about 8 or 9 dozen, I don't remember. And so I called them back and I said, yeah, we got some coats for you. And he says, good, can we borrow them? I says, you can have them. And he said, we have people flying into Sioux Falls that are going to be interviewing for jobs from the South Pacific today. I talked it over with Gretchen at the time, and I said, should we start a Gap ministry for this kind of thought? So we talked it over and decided it might be a good idea. So I got on the council agenda over at First Lutheran, and I said, can I go talk to your leadership council about a Gap ministry? So I went on a Monday night and I gave my presentation and I said, we know that you wanted to do the kitchenware ministry when it came about, but the Presbyterians got it. We want to offer this opportunity to your congregation. And I said, this was probably March. It was a month and a half after the event. And I said, we don't need this until September, October, so you got a month or 2 to think about this. And the next morning, their council president called me about 6:15 in the morning. It was Becca McGahey, just to reference it. She said, we want to do this thing. And I'm like, good. This is what we expect. This is what we want to do. They found a retired teacher who had just retired, Kathy Cron, and then she found a couple of people, Diana White and Linda Nelson, and they formed what's known as the Loving Coat Closet over at First Lutheran Church. And they've been doing that for 6 years now. Hard to believe they win. They're giving out approximately to between 250, 350 people every year, things like coats, boots, gloves, all the way from preschoolers all the way up to people coming from Micronesia who are working with the company that freezes the food from JBS. Coveralls and boots and stuff like that. And that helps them get established in their work to do stuff. So that's what a Gap ministry looks like. That's the one that we started. Other gap ministries that we have, we talked about the kitchenware ministry at Westminster Presbyterian. Lakeside, someone figured out how to make bunk beds out of 2x4s and plywood. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And we have personal care items at American Lutheran. We got cleaning supplies at St. Matthew's. Indian Lake Baptist has infant and toddler clothing up to 3T. They don't do 4T, I don't know why, but they go up to 3T. And then there's Pray Worthington. There's a number of gap ministries, and I may have forgotten one or two. So that's gap ministry. That's the step of gap ministries. Then the next step is, it's called transformational ministries. See, most people come to Love Inc. and they have felt needs. They're going to shut off my utilities. I need a bed. I need clothes for my kids. I need shampoo and toilet paper. It's stuff. But a lot of times, giving them stuff might solve their problem, but it also might not. It might be a continuing issue. I'm going to tell another story. We got a call from a gal saying they were going to shut off her utilities. And this gal was employed. And we started to work with her, and I called the utility company and I said, she says, you're going to shut off utilities, we're working with her. They said, we know her, we've worked with her for years. So paying the utilities was an issue for her. But she had a job, again, a pretty good paying job that shut down once a year to clean up the plant and stuff like that. And apparently that's when the problems always started. So her issue wasn't, she made enough money to pay the bills, but the bills weren't getting paid. So we do a thing called Faith and Finance class. And we have other educational tools that we work with people to help develop their ability to create a spending plan or a budget and things like that. We encourage this person to attend the classes. It didn't happen because it interacted with her work. She was a second shift worker same time as the class. But that's the next goal, is we try to determine, are there things we can do that will help the person beyond just giving them stuff. A lot of people in the past will call it offering a hand up, not a handout. I don't know if I really care for that terminology, but it's suitable in this case. There is some Love Incs. that they go a step further. It's called comprehensive transformation, and that's where let's say a couple is $50,000 in debt. They'll come in, give the checkbook and the credit cards and to a person who has been trained, and then they come in each week and work their budget or their spending plan that way. We don't do that. We haven't established that law. We have really established instructor Tony Vetch. He works for corrections, and he saw a need there that people were ending up in the corrections in probation, and they were getting fines, but they weren't able to get to work because they had a conviction of some sort. So oftentimes that would lead them to falling back into the behaviors that got them in trouble in the first place. So he said he wanted to make a difference in that, and he looked at our Faith and Finance class and thought this might be a way to do that. For good or ill, we haven't really connected really well with the direct court and that because of changes there, but we still offer a course to help people with their finances, and we offer that in the fall, and that's coming up again now too. So that's that step. Then there's another step called community transformation. So another story. This was my first year as the director of Love Inc. We were down by the lake. August came. we were getting college students from Minnesota West about a month before classes started, maybe even 6 weeks before classes started, and they were asking for things. And now like Jamie said earlier, I worked for the YMCA. We were located on the college campus the last 10 years while I was with the Y. And I know all the coaches out there. Well, come to find out, all the people coming to us for help were athletes. And they were coming to us. They were people that were coming from Puerto Rico or Detroit or Miami to play sports for Minnesota West. They were coming here with nothing, and their student finances didn't kick in until classes start. So approximately a month and a half before classes start, sports started their summer training. So community, I started connecting. It was TJ Hostica, the baseball coach at the time. I go back way a long time with him. I interacted with him, and we came up with a solution to this so that we weren't getting overwhelmed with 20, 30 athletes in August, because it was consuming all our energy, so that the other people that were needing help, it delayed service to them. So TD and I talked about it, and we came up with a solution that items that Love Inc. doesn't normally take, and there are items that people donate that we don't want. We usually won't take futons and sleeper sofas. We decided we'd start collecting them or redirecting them to the sports teams, and they collected and created their own warehouse of items. So they would collect these items, and then as the freshmen come in, whatever the seniors from the previous year would leave would get redistributed. And since that time, and the other benefit was Blue Jay Villas open up, and that's supplied apartments, so that created less of a need as well. So that's Love Inc. in a nutshell for people.
For those folks that are looking to reach out for help, for any of the Gap ministries and stuff, you mentioned the clearinghouse and stuff like that. What do they need to do? There's a phone number for that, right?
Okay, so there's two good ways to start the process of if you need help. One, you just call our office at 507-727-7291. We have a registration form, and it takes 2 minutes to fill it out. Basically, we just need to know your name and address. How do we contact you? We can do email, we can do phone. So and we can do internet too. We have done that too. Or you can go to our webpage and you can start the process under the Get Help tab on Love Inc. Worthington webpage, which is www.loveincw.org. If you don't add the W, it'll go to the National Love Inc., and then it'll take 2 months for them to figure out which Love Inc. they gotta connect us with. So, anyways, under the Good Help, it says it just has the same form that we fill out here, so you can actually start the process. That's how we start the process. Love Inc. is a voluntary organization. I'm here. Kamala is here to support the volunteers. Intakers will call you and do an intake, get to know you better. Our ministry is relational, and we are an extension of ministry of the churches I talked about.
For those folks that want to maybe donate items,
Yes.
How do they do that?
Actually, pretty much the same method. The phone number, 507-727-7291. You can we get emails, info at loveinc.org, or you can reach out by Facebook too. We get Facebook, and I think we get into we had a way on our webpage to interact with us too, but I don't know, we haven't used it for a while, so I don't know if it's still working. If you want to donate money, talking different, we're changing the way that we do that. You can always write us a check, drop it off here at the office. You can mail it to us, same way. We take cash. We take checks. We have online donation on our webpage, but we're changing it. Partly, well, mostly because we bank with First State Bank Southwest. They have a method for us to do donations on our webpage through their resources. And one of the things I learned at the YMCA, and also working with United Way and the chamber, is Love Inc. of Worthington is a local organization. We want to support our local businesses because they're the ones who support us. We have good sponsors. We have good organizations come alongside us. Beyond even, we get every year United Way funding. Many years we get Worthington Area Foundation funding. But we have many businesses that come alongside Love Inc., and you can find them at our webpage. The first one it talks about staff, our board, stuff like that. So if you want to donate, look at that, and you'll find it, and you can do that way. Other ways you can be a part of what Love Inc. does in Worthington and the surrounding area, because we reach out to other areas. You can volunteer, and we have a number of different type of volunteer positions. We have a board of directors, and we always love more people on our board. We have a good committed group, but it's always good to get fresh blood in there, if you will. The only requirement for all our volunteer positions is that you agree with the Apostles' Creed. And we do reach out to the pastor of your church to get a we'll call it a background check, but a certification of some sort.
Like a letter of approval almost.
Approval is good, yeah. So, other areas volunteer. We have our warehouse, and we have furniture delivery teams that go out from 12 different groups. Sometimes 13. We do sometimes get a business that will do it. We have intakers and we have receptionists. Those are the main areas of volunteer. And we're always looking for more people to join us in what we're doing here for the benefit of people in Worthington. Yeah.
So you've mentioned quite a bit the contact information. Yeah. Office, where of course we mentioned before here, the office that we're in right now, just north of I-90. If you hit Diagonal Road, get just north of I-90, you'll see them on the right-hand side right there. Hours for the left-hand side, which is my other right.
Tell them if they make it to Prairie View Golf Course, you went a little too far.
There you go. Yep. Hours for the for the office here.
So our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to noon, and then Monday through Thursday, 1 to 4. And then other things by appointment, but for the most part, that's our operating hours.
And website one more time in the socials.
Okay. So loveincworthington.org or www.loveincw.org. We're on Facebook. We do have Instagram. Don't ever use it. Trying to I guess I'm supposed to encourage people to like our webpage so that when we do things on our Facebook page, trying to keep people involved. We send out information about our volunteers and our furniture delivery teams and Gap Ministries. And I do a verse of the week or a passage of the week. And We send out an unmet needs list, and I do a Love Inc. weekly update with Radio Works that serves also as a podcast that I put. Those are all on Facebook, so those are all ways to learn about what's going on with Love Inc. at any given time.
He is Greg Weedy. We are here at Love Inc. Make sure that when you call or email or hit him up on social media, make sure that you do remember to say that you saw him right here on Focus Forward here on Studio 3. Thanks a lot, Greg. Oh, one more thing.
All right, so both donors and people who are calling for help, the biggest problem we have is their voicemail is not set up, or it's full up and they're not accepting calls. So we do our best to reach when people call us for help. And sometimes the cases flow really good, move really quickly because we're interacting with them. And sometimes they sit for a long time, months even. We'll sit on the case file because we can't connect with the person. So and there's nothing we can do about that because we're trying. So anyways, yeah, that's the biggest frustration in the clearinghouse. So yeah.
So clean up your voicemail and make sure that you keep your phone on when they're calling.
I do that in personal life too. It's the same thing. So
He's Greg Weedy.
Your calls.
Life advice from Greg Weedy here at Love Inc. here on Studio 3. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what's going on with the community calendar. Welcome back to Focus Forward here on Studio 3. My name is Jamie Salinas of Forward Worthington. Time to talk about what we got coming up on the community calendar. Of course, you can find this community calendar on our website, forwardworthington.com. Now, first up on our list of what is a weekly bit here, of course, the Worthington Farmers Markets. Now, we have a couple of farmers markets every week here in Worthington between June and October. Now, we have the Tuesday Farmers Market, which is downtown at the 10th Street Pavilion. That's from 3 to 6:30 every Tuesday. We have our vendors out there, as well as on Saturdays. We have farmers market vendors over at the Schwalbach Ace Hardware parking lot. That goes from July to October on now every Saturday from 7 until noon. One more thing to talk about here, 12th annual backpack giveaway at B-Mobile. A Chamber member. B-Mobile, the Verizon location that is next to Subway. Between July 29th to July 31st, you can get a free backpack filled with school supplies. School's coming back around here pretty quick. Plus, they want to help you out and you and your kiddos get back to school ready with a chance to win a $500 shopping spree. So there's no purchase necessary. Registration is due at the time that you pick up the backpack. Supplies are first come, first serve. Again, that is the 12th annual backpack giveaway from the B-Mobile Verizon location next to Subway on North Humiston here in Worthington. Again, that is July 29th through the 31st. So make sure you get out there and get that free backpack, because school is coming. Well, that is going to do it for another edition of Focus Forward here on Studio 3. Remember, if you know somebody that is thinking about becoming a member of Forward Worthington, they would like more information, or if you would like more information yourself, feel free to give our office a phone call, 507-372-2919. You can also visit our office inside the JBS Fieldhouse, 700 2nd Avenue here in Worthington, and we'd be more than happy to fill you in on all the benefits of becoming a member of Forward Worthington. Now, for Randy Davis, on behalf of Randy Davis behind the camera, we say thank you very much for watching this edition of Focus Forward. We'll see you next time.